What's up? We're back with another tutorial. This time we're going through the gainer flash. So we're getting a little bit more complicated into some more intermediate tricks now. So quick side note, a lot of people call this a cheat gainer. However, a cheat setup is something you do for kicks where you take off of one leg instead of two, and that means you can cheat some of the rotation you'd have to do on a kicking trick that you would normally take off of two legs. The setup you use for a gainer or gainer flash is called a J step or a pivot step, and I'm going to talk through those later. So stop calling it a cheat gainer, it's just called a gainer flash. Now let's get to it. So this move is all about the setup. So that setup being your pivot step. I'm going to teach a pivot step here. The difference between a pivot step and a J step is just a hop at the end. So in a pivot step you do a hop, and in a J step you don't. In the pivot step you get a bit more control, gives you a bit more time to think about your technique, and it's easier. A J step on the other hand gives you a lot more power. If you're going straight for like a double cork, you would use this setup instead. Now before we get started, to do this move you should have some prerequisites down. So I have a bunch of tutorials on basic tricks already. I would recommend you learn all of those first before moving to this one. The main trick you'll need to learn before doing this is a backflip. You need to be comfortable with going backwards over your head. So if you don't know how to backflip, learn that first and then come back. There's a link to the tutorial in the info card in the top corner. Click that, go learn a backflip. So gainer flash is where you swing your leg all the way through, keep it extended and land on it. It's a bit like a backflip compared to a flash kick. You have a gainer and a gainer flash. This move's super important to learn because it leads on to so many other tricks. The majority of tricks you'll see are like corks and gainers and chains of those moves. If you learn a gainer, you can progress to a gainer switch, you can progress to corks, and then you can progress onto swing throughs, so you can link a lot more moves together in more creative ways. So let's explain the setup. You're standing here ready to do a gainer, stationary with your feet like this. What you're going to do is imagine a line in front of you. So the arrow on the screen now is the direction you're going to be traveling in. Your first step is going to be with your left foot, and you're going to place it on that imaginary line. Your next step with your right foot is going to be shoulder width apart. So you're going to come off the line and it's going to be a medium-sized step forward. Then step your left foot back onto the line but at an angle of around 30 degrees. Now the next step is where people often go wrong. So this is the most common mistake I see when I'm teaching this move. What you're going to do is imagine a square, and the corner of that square is where your left foot is now. And the next step is to hop your left foot from that corner of the square to the opposite corner of the square. Most people make the mistake of hopping directly across or directly forward. You need to hop to the other corner of the square and also turn your body another 90 degrees so that you are facing slightly back towards the way you came from. So if you were to retrace all those steps, the path that your body takes is a little bit like a J shape, hence why people call this a J step. Technically a pivot step is where you do the hop at the end. On a J step you would jump straight from your right foot to the very last position of your left foot. So let's take a look now at that in action. Left foot onto the imaginary line, right foot shoulder width apart, step forward off the line, left foot back onto the line, slightly rotated, and then jump across, turn 90 degrees and swing the leg. So the first thing you're going to do is learn that setup. You're just going to walk through the steps one by one, nice and slow. You can speed it up later, but you just want this to feel quite natural, and you want to coordinate your body so that this is a normal movement for you. Then you're going to get to the point of where you do the swing. So after the hop, your arms and legs want to be back as far as possible, ready to fire up. Then you swing your legs and arms at the same time and try to keep your chest kind of up. You don't want to pull it back too much because that will kill your height. Then with your leg that's kicked, never stop kicking it around. You want to kick it all the way around to the floor and keep pulling that leg until it catches the floor. So if you can already backflip, then your first ones are probably going to look a little bit like this, and that's fine. That's a great start. A really good drill you can do to get used to staying on the one leg is just to swing your leg over to the side, and all you're going to do is gradually increase the angle that you throw your leg at until it starts going a lot more vertical, which will give you the flip. Alright, so that is it for the gainer flash tutorial. So if you can already backflip, it's going to be quite easy to turn that backflip into a gainer flash. If not, just practice the thing where you throw your leg over slightly to the side and just increase that angle until it's coming up towards your shoulder. Either shoulder is fine. If you want to gain a switch, you do your leg to the same shoulder, and normal gainers you can go to the opposite shoulder. Doesn't really matter as long as you get a nice big swing. So get practicing. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Hope some people learn this. and I'll see you next time.